Okay, so there's 8 theories of attraction. Number 1 is appearance. In the initial stages of meeting someone, the way we view them is linked to our observation in their appearance. We're drawn to them based on what they look like. As we mature and our relationship develops, the appearance becomes less important and personality has a bigger impact in the long run. Number 2 is similarity. The theory that birds of a feather flock together. We like people that are similar to us in terms of values, ethics, and morality. 2 people that are similar have a more successful relationship. Complementarity is number 3. That's the theory that opposites attract. Extroverts and introverts work well together because they're teaching each other something. We have a need for diversity in our relationships that keeps things interesting. Number 4 is competence. We want to be with people that we see are at the same level of ability as us. We like people that are skilled and able in whatever fields we choose are important. Number 5 is social exchange economic theory. We stay in the relationship if what we're getting meets or exceeds what we're giving. In that case, the giver usually leaves the relationship first. We want a greater reward than what we're giving out. Number 6 is self-disclosure. Self-disclosure has to be there or the relationship wouldn't exist. We enjoy getting back the same kind and amount of self-disclosure that we reveal to our significant others. Number 7 is reciprocity. We like people who would think like us. Number 8 is proximity. We don't develop relationships with people who our paths never cross. So people that we meet in the same frequented chat rooms or gas stations or grocery stores are the people that we're going to develop relationships with, not the people that we never know.
We're going to discuss the definition and characteristics of relationships. In a relationship, you must have a mutual consciousness, which is where the parties know each other, a mutual perceived bond, which is the type of relationship, the mutual influence upon each other, which is that you have an impact on the other person's existence. We're going to build our communications garden. As a relationship begins, it's like a seed that is constantly changing. As the relationship gets further, it builds over time, becoming a longer stem. As it reaches the importance in a relationship, you have the fact that it is either a life, death, or breath relationship, meaning it is either very good for you and starts your flower of communication, or it's really bad for you and you should just cut that off. The types of relationships that you can have are marriage, family, romantic, work, and friends. All of these relationships are affected by the culture that we grew up in and how that culture views those types of relationships. The way we interact with different people depends a lot on the kind of relationship that we have with them. For example, if our grasshopper lands on the work pedal, he is more likely to treat someone with the respect of a workplace as opposed to a family member where teasing and other things might be acceptable.
There are 3 main points to why we form and maintain relationships. The first one is to fulfill needs. Needs such as food, safety, self-esteem, self-actualization,
To fulfill all these needs, we maintain and form these relationships. The second one is to learn to be loved and to love. And the thing with this one is we need to learn to be loved before we could actually love ourselves and others. The third one is to achieve intimacy, which means what gives us fulfillment and belonging and love. And there's actually 4 more parts to this. The first part to achieving intimacy is the dimensions, which also means the types of intimacy. The first one is physical, which is the feeling of touch, but nonverbal. The second one is intellectual, which means developing intimacy, exchanging important ideas with one another. The third one is emotional. It comes when people read you based off of your emotions, you're exchanging feelings with one another. And then the fourth one is shared activities, which you're engaging in the same things. You guys are doing stuff together, for example, work, shopping, exercise, sports, whatever you guys do together. The fifth one is psychological. It's when you know how someone's brain works. The sixth one is spiritual. It's shared perspectives of spiritual worlds. And the last one, sexual. This one requires emotional as a minimum to actually get to this part of intimacy, but it could interfere with many of these before you could actually get to this one. So continuing with the parts of achieving intimacy, the second one is masculine, feminine styles. The third one is cultural influences. The fourth one is intimacy and mediated communication. And the very last one is the limits of intimacy. Going back to masculine, feminine styles, women have been known to be more willing to share thoughts and feelings rather than men. The female to females are at the top of the disclosure list. The females are just better known to have better relationships, I guess you can say, but that's just a generalization. They say that just because people say it doesn't mean it's typically true, just found in more women than men. The third one is cultural influences. In the past, intimacy was more public than it is today, and intimacy also varies in different countries. It's just different depending on your culture, and the cultural differences in intimacy are becoming less in today's world. The fourth one is intimacy and mediated communication. That means nowadays electronics are used to be viewed as impersonal. Now relational intimacy can grow faster actually through the internet, and people do use the internet as a form of a way to grow a relationship. The last one is the limits of intimacy. Most people want 4 to 6 close relationships. They keep a limit on how many relationships because it is too much closeness to have an intimacy relationship with everyone.
Hi there, my name is Isabel Skinner and I will be discussing the stage model of relationship. And a quick preview, I will be discussing every stage followed by the example, and then after that I will be discussing the characteristic of stage model. Initiating, this is a very short stage. It involves scripted and cliche. Scripted because people would think a way to make a good impression to another person, and then cliche, it means using standard greetings like hi, hello, how are you, just to start a conversation. And also it involves superficial, meaning individual will observe the appearance of another person and also their mannerism. Next stage is experimenting. Experimenting involves small talks. Small talks is like basic question just to gain more information about the other person. And also, experimenting is the hallmark of this stage because individual will decide whether they would want to have a relationship or not. Intensifying stage involves self-disclosure. In this stage, individual will have a less formal communication. They will share their emotion, feelings about each other. And in this stage, in our culture in the Philippines, this is the courtship period wherein the guy will try to please the woman to get her sweet, precious "I love you too," or "Yes, I am your girlfriend." Stage is integration. Integration, it is when individuals consider themselves as one or unit, social unit as we. Usually here, people or individuals will do things together or plan things together. So that's it. And then the next stage is bonding. Bonding involves public ritual. So it's like for couples, like they would want to get married, they will have ceremony, wedding ceremony, and wedding rings. For best friends, they will have friendship ring or tattoos. Stage is differentiating. Differentiating, it involves or it emphasizes the differences with individuals. So if in integrating, they are focused on being one as one. Here in differentiating, it's like they focus on individual satisfaction. They are trying to find their self-identity. And then next stage is circumscribing. Circumscribing is like having a safe topic. They have limited self-disclosure in this stage. So if in intensifying they have more self-disclosure, when it comes to circumscribing, there is a constricted or limited self-disclosure. Next stage is stagnating. Stagnating, they are like, they notice that there's already conflict or problem in the relationship, but they don't want to talk about it. So they are being civil with each other, just being polite, just to show that they are still together, but they already noticed that they have problem in their relationship. So here in differentiating and circumscribing, they might not notice it yet, but here in stagnating, they will notice that they have a problem already. And then if it's not resolved, they will move on to the ninth stage, which is avoiding. Avoiding, individual will create distance physically, like they will avoid each other. It's like being rude to each other already. And then if it's not solved, they will move on to the next stage, which is terminating. Terminating is the end of the relationship. My example is not about divorce or end of friendship or end of boyfriend and girlfriend relationship, because I think that if married couple will have a divorce, they will still have relationship, especially if they have kids. They can call each other ex-wife, ex-husband, but there is still a relationship between the two of them. So I will not be using that example. I will be focusing on the two types of terminating stage, which is fade away and quick death. So fade away, like Dr. G.A. said, it's like when someone has is terminally ill, it's like you know that at some point that person will pass away, but it's like gradually. It's like you will be prepared deep inside you. You will be prepared that it's gonna happen sooner or later. So that's the example of fade away. And then quick death, it's like someone will pass away without any sign, just like that. So that's it. Thank you. Initiating stage. Meet Isabel and Brett on their first date.
Hello, Isabel.
Hi, Brett.
Was it easy to find the place?
Oh yeah, I'm happy to see you for the first time.
Ah, you too. Well, shall we be seated so that we can eat?
Ah, sure.
Okay.
On their first meeting, individual will observe each other's appearance and will create positive impression towards each other. Experimenting stage.
Beautiful dress you're wearing.
Oh, thank you. So, Brett, what do you do for a living?
I own my own company, trucking company.
Oh, that's great.
What about you?
I am a nurse.
Oh, interesting. So, Isabel, this is about our third date. I'm really interested in you. So what do you think?
Let's keep going then. Intensifying involve self-disclosure.
Hello, beautiful lady. These flowers are for you.
Thank you. It's pretty.
You're welcome. So, nice place. Like the way you've decorated it.
Oh, thank you. And I'm happy you came to my place.
Okay. Anyway, I've been thinking. We've been going out for a little while now, and I'm really interested in you. So how about us becoming a couple?
Actually, I've been thinking about that.
Oh, good. Cool.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, good.
Integrating stage. Individuals will consider themselves as one.
So, sweetheart, I've been thinking. We both work pretty hard, and I think we need to get away a little bit and enjoy each other's company a little bit more. So, what would you say, say next week, go on a little trip somewhere?
Oh, great idea. I have a vacation available.
Cool.
Bonding stage. It involves public rituals.
Isabel, take this ring as a symbol of my undying love.
Brett, take this ring as a symbol of my faithful, true love. Differentiating stage focuses on individual satisfaction.
I'm going out to meet my friends. I don't care what you say.
Okay, I'm going to meet my friends too. Circumscribing, safe talk.
How was your day?
Good. Stagnating, being civil with each other. Avoiding, individuals will avoid each other physically. Don't talk to me right now. I have a bad day at work.
Okay, fine. I'm out of here.
Terminating stage, end of relationship. Fade away.
Hello, may I speak to Isabel?
Yes, speaking.
Hi, Isabel. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Hey, do you remember your friend Gladys?
Yes.
I got some disturbing news to tell you about her. She passed away.
Oh, yes. She has been sick. Okay, let's talk about the characteristic of the stage model. Characteristic of the stage model, first is movement is usually systematic and sequential. So it means that Stage model, it could be like step by step, one at a time, depending on how you communicate, your culture, and your morals. So, and then number 2, a movement is usually horizontal or vertical. For example, here, if depending on your communication, morals, ethics, principle, usually the movement is like that. Or it could be from here going there, initiating to terminating, or experimenting to terminating, like that. Number 3, movement can be forward or backward. It means that if you are here already in bonding, you can move back and forth here like that, depending on, because you have to balance everything here. When you are already here, you have to balance like that. You can move back and forth. And then relationship can skip stage. It means that for example, in other culture like Muslim or Indians, they can skip, they can have the initiating and then jump to the bonding already. Because in Muslim culture, they have this arranged marriage. So usually they will not meet their bride or groom until their wedding date. A Muslim, women are not allowed to show their face to their groom until after they got married. And then an American model. An American model, my point view is American culture. You are straightforward when it comes to expressing yourselves. So it could be fast. For example, you met in the bar, so you have initiating, you get experimenting, asking for your telephone number, address, and then go to the base. It depends on your morality or your principle in life. And 7, descriptive model, like what I've said, a stage model, it is concerned with how the relationship develop and how the communication changes. It does not tell us what stage to go next, because stage model depends on how our relationship weaken or deepen based on our communication with each other.